for the launch of the Leadership, Integrity and Anti-Corruption course for executives. And Kennedy Mureithi is on standby, where EACC CEO Twalib Mubarak is currently speaking.
The initiative of the DPP and DCI and EACC, that we're encouraging it as a way of actually addressing the issue of backlog. And there is a misconception. People feel that plea bargain is something that you go and say, I've done this and that, and you'll be pardoned. No. There are two issues that we need to distinguish here: the issue of alternative dispute resolution and plea bargain. Alternative dispute resolution focuses on civil matters. For instance, if you are allocated land 20 years ago in this country, and it is under the attention of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission that that particular piece of land was not properly allocated, the process was flawed, the EACC will write to you officially and tell you that this piece of land or this area, that it could be a small piece of land or big, and we have recovered out of that. That we believe that you are to surrender the title to the government because this was not properly done. You have two options. You have the option of taking your lawyer to fight it as a civil matter, or you have the option of telling your lawyer that, can you write to the EACC and the EACC alone, because it's a civil matter, that you want to surrender that piece of land, and we'll take you through a process. We have done it. We have recovered land in Naivasha area. As at now, I'm talking about 1,800 acres of land, worth 8.9 billion. This land has been valued, worth 8.9 billion shillings, and the titles are ready, and there will be a ceremony to hand over these titles back to Kalro, formerly Kari. We have recovered land in Eldoret. We have recovered land in Kisumu. In Eldoret, we have recovered several pieces of land worth about 1.5 billion shillings. We have recovered land in Kisumu that used to belong to Kenya Railway, and these pieces of land, they have been irregularly allocated to some individuals. This is the area that is now the area that the port is being developed, and we have managed to recover quite a number of pieces of land. And that is not the end. We shall continue looking at and trace all the land that were illegally allocated, all pieces of land that were illegally allocated, whether it is 20 years ago, 25 years ago, especially these ones that belongs to public institutions. And we'll make sure that they revert to those institutions, so that if it is a primary school land, it will be recovered and handed over to the primary school land. Just the way we did with the University of Nairobi land, where we recovered a prime piece of land and handed it over back to University of Nairobi. For plea bargain, the focus on plea bargain is on issues to deal with criminal cases. And plea bargain is being done in many countries. It's one way of addressing backlog of cases. One of the biggest challenges we have in this country is a backlog of cases before the court. We don't want to be on blame game. Why can't we utilize laws that give us a chance to allow plea bargain? Plea bargain, I'll give you a simple example of plea bargain, especially say in the United States. If you're caught driving under the influence of alcohol, and maybe the maximum sentence for that offense is 3 years. Immediately you appear before court, your lawyers ask for plea bargain, in that instead of being jailed for maybe 3 years, you may end up being jailed for 6 months and a heavy fine. Out of that, you benefit, you're punished, but also the judiciary has managed to reduce the backlog of cases. So all these issues to deal with plea bargain, they go through the DPP. Issues to deal with civil matters, ADR, they come through EACC, especially on asset recovery. I hope that one is clear.
Now, on this other matter where you're speaking about the plea bargaining,
yes,
and also on these other cases, are corruption cases part of it? And is it an area that you would want to look into and probably pursue, now that we know that the EACC, even as has been widely reported, is targeting some governors, some senior officials in government and all that? Is it a matter that you want to pursue?
I think the best person to talk about the plea bargain will be the DPP, because for us, we shall keep on looking for all areas that there are economic crimes, especially in the counties. For instance, if a governor is involved in corruption, or his executives or her executives are involved in corruption, we shall follow up the matter, we shall investigate, and once we are done with the investigation, we'll forward that file to the DPP for him to give consent to charge. it is at the DPP's level that a decision can be made if the accused is willing to do a plea bargain. And that one means involvement of the DPP and the lawyers for that particular individual.
Is it something that you would recommend, and to what levels?
I
know it is the DPP, yes, but
we'll recommend a lot, because that is one way of quickly addressing the issues to deal with corruption, especially on the criminal aspect. Equally, what I can call the soft corruption, people who have acquired plots using their position in those old days, those ones shall follow them through the civil, alternative dispute resolution. So plea bargain is the way forward. 2 weeks ago, the DPP launched a program on plea bargain, and it is very encouraging. Even us as EACC will support the DPP on that. But although there's a misconception by some of these people involved in economic crimes, they believe that plea bargain is just to come and say, yes, I stole, and then can I maybe have half of what I stole and half I surrender to the government. That is not the concept. The concept is that there will be a reduced punishment, yeah, but for the money, you have to pay 3 times the amount. It's not even reduced, because maybe you did business with that money, and you became a millionaire out of that stolen money. So you have to pay for it. But all that will be determined by the DPP. But for us as a EACC, we totally support that move.
Now, there are some governors that have already even gone to court and have been charged. A case in point is Governor Waititu. Is it something that probably, if he wanted, he could take right now, or after somebody has been charged, it is not an avenue that you would want to pursue?
That one now, something that is in court, it cannot be discussed, and we are not allowed to discuss things that are in court.
Are there any governors or former government officials who have approached you for plea bargain, or maybe for the...
You see, I keep on insisting. When we're investigating a governor or we're investigating an individual on economic crimes, there is no way they can come to us for plea bargain, because it will be the wrong stage of them asking for a plea bargain. The only time they can ask for plea bargain is when their cases have been forwarded to the DPP and the DPP has recommended for their prosecution. It is at that time that they can negotiate with the DPP that they want a plea bargain. But you cannot just wait when you know that you are under investigation by EACC and now you are asked to write statements and you have realized you're in trouble, then you jump and say, I want a plea bargain. The case has not even been concluded. The investigations have not been concluded. So once the case is forwarded to the DPP and charges are recommended against an individual, it is at that stage that that person can, his lawyer can decide and talk to the DPP that they want to go into a plea bargain.
For some time now, there have been reports that the EACC is investigating some governors, some up to 1 year. Are there those that have already taken to the DPP, including Governor Mike Sonko, who had been mentioned in some of these cases?
Right now, we have a number of governors we are investigating, and we are not yet through the investigations. It would be too early to say that we are taking certain governor to the DPP or recommending for prosecution. We have quite a number of governors. A number of them are still under our radar. Some are on the preliminary investigation. Some are on still what you call intelligence coverage, trying to weigh what has been reported at the report center, because one thing we need to appreciate is that quite a number of these governors, whatever they are doing, is the public that is reporting to the commission. So we weigh quite a number of issues that are raised, but I can assure you we have quite a number of governors that we are investigating, and with time, some of them will end up in the DPP's docket.
With all due respect, you've said that statement for quite some time, that you're still investigating. Some of them have even gone up to 1 year. Is there time that we look into conclusion and probably action?
It can take even 4 years, even 5 years. Investigation is not something instant like a coffee. I'll give you a good example. Look at the Lake Basin Development Authority case, the famous mall case. That case started in 2015. We concluded the case early, maybe 2 months ago. We are not in a hurry to rush governors to court. But a message to them and their people is that crime does not expire. So they can keep on doing wrong things. There's no problem. If it is 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, we'll arraign them. Right now we have ex-governors who are in court. We have current governors who are in court. So the message to them is very simple. They have to style up, otherwise we'll just hunt them and will not stop.
So how many governors are you investigating at the moment?
That's a very tricky question. I will not like to tell you how many, because I don't like to cause panic and anxiety on their side. And also I don't want to speculate. But I can tell you with a lot of authority that we have a number of governors we are investigating and a number of counties we are investigating.
Can you comment about the issue there, the asset recovered? Where are we at the moment? How much have you recovered?
Asset recovery?
Yeah.
In terms of us, we deal with assets under the Proceeds of Crime and Anti-Money Laundering. And we have several cases that are under investigation and also several cases which are in court. Mostly under investigation, we restrict some of the proceeds. We follow the money. We see what assets or benefits that may have been acquired by the people who are under investigation or under prosecution. These are usually cases which come from the DCI office, and we have quite a number. Even drug cases we saw, I think last week you saw some of the cases that we are dealing with the drug, and you know the drug problem in this country is becoming